Is it time to sign Nik Bonitto? Is he worthy of his new contract extension earlier rather than later? What's going on, Broncos country? My name is Trace Moustakas, but you can call me Moose. Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. And today, like I said, that's exactly what we're going to be deep diving into, Nik Bonitto's contract extension. Now, ESPN claims the Broncos should get ahead of Nik Bonitto's contract. I could not agree more. And I'll tell you why. If Bonitto goes out and has another year like he did in 2024, the price is only going to go up and up and up and up. But there is a specific ESPN reporter who deals with NFL contracts. His name is Jeff Legwold. Here's what he had to say about Nik Bonitto. The Broncos still have $32 million remaining in dead cap from Russell Wilson's release. Yikes, don't remind us. But GM George Paton has called signing Bonitto a priority, adding that they want him here for a long time. It might behoove, cool word, the Broncos to get him signed earlier, as a healthy, productive 2025 season would certainly drive up his price. Now let's start off with the basics. Had a great 2024 season. I don't think anybody else really needs to have that be said, right? Like, we all saw what he did last year, breakout season. It was unbelievable. And these numbers back it up. 13.5 sacks, 16 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, a PFF grade, which we just mentioned, isn't the Bible, but a good outline and blueprint, 77.5 PFF grade. Really, really great season. And I have a feeling that everything that we saw from him last year is only going to get better. If you notice the consistent progression from Bonitto, 2022, dipping his toe into the NFL waters. 2023, a very solid, productive season. 2024, all-pro numbers. Now, you have to now ask yourself this question. Well, what are we going to pay him? Because there's got to be at least a baseline number, especially as salary caps go up and the NFL gets even more and more money. The price for players, especially at this position, are only going to go up. Now, it's interesting enough, speaking of his position, he's listed as a linebacker, but he plays like an edge, and they're going to pay him like an edge. Don't make any mistake about that. So if we take a look really quick at the highest paid edges per year, notice something right here? You're not going to get Myles Garrett money. You're not going to get Nick Bosa money. But you will get higher than Montez Sweat. You might even get what TJ Watt is making right now. Somewhere inside the top 10. You will absolutely see. And if you notice something else, the highest paid linebackers are making a fraction at what the highest paid edge rushers are making. So for Bonitto's position, even though it is technically a linebacker, he's going to say, I need to get paid like an edge. Now, Legwold then went on to say that Bonitto will receive a floor, so the lowest base pay, of what Montez Sweat received in Chicago after they traded for him from the Washington Commanders. Excuse me. So what is Montez Sweat making? $24.5 million a year. That's the floor. So I'm telling you, you got to be proactive if you're going to sign this guy, because the truth is if he goes out and has another baller year, you're looking at $30+ million bare minimum. That's what he'll at least be asking for. So again, in a roundabout way, is this a contract extension that we see get done halfway through the season? It's possible. And more likely than not is going to be something that George and Sean Paton prioritize. But before we get into why that might be a problem, I want to ask you this question. How many sacks will Nik Bonitto have in 2025? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm going to give you my guess right now. I'm going to say 13. Now, I realize that's a half sack lower than he had last year, but when you consider how good this pass rush is, I feel like 13 is a really good number, but I could easily see him having 15 sacks. So I think 13 is probably like where I'll start. But if I notice throughout not only training camp, but heading into the 2025 season that he's on a heater, that number might change to 15 sacks. But here's the problem. 3 players, notable players, face contract extensions this year as well. We've talked about both of them on the channel before. So your 2026 free agents, if no deals are getting done, Courtland Sutton, John Franklin Myers, Nik Bonitto. So there's a problem. Because here's the thing. All 3 of them want to stay in Denver. But can you pay all 3 what they absolutely deserve? That's the question we're going to try to answer right after we thank our sponsor of today's video, which is, of course, Prize Picks. Hey, listen, the NBA playoffs is in full swing. The NBA championship is starting up very shortly. Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Indiana Pacers. So this is the first time, by the way, one of these franchises is going to be crowned champ. Now, every single Tuesday, Prize Picks will discount several projections for Taco Tuesday on the board, usually by 15 to 25%. And if you know ball, the only series left is the perfect place to make your takes and take your picks to cash in on your favorite sports. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. So here's what you got to do. Listen to the Moose Man. He's going to steer you in the right direction for this. Go to your app store. Click that download button. It's that purple P. And use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. You can win up to 2,000 times your cash with Prize Picks. So if you want an idea of how it works, just take a look. Miles Turner, you pick the more or the less. If you want Tyrese Halliburton, you take the less. If you want Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, take the more. Any combination of any players for any statistic with Prize Picks. It is that simple, and boom, you're automatically playing. One more time, just in case you didn't hear me the first. Download the app. CLNS is the code, and you get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. So the Broncos will have to prioritize certain contracts before others. That's just the truth. This is true of any team. So, unfortunately, while all Broncos fans want to see their favorite players get extensions, and they want to see them hang on with the team, you can't pay everybody. And not every player is going to choose you. They might prioritize getting the bag themselves. So, if you're wondering who are those priorities and how do they fall in line, well, let's just take the 3 guys that we just mentioned. In my opinion, because it's an offensive league, a quarterback-driven league, and a weapons league, the first guy you have to prioritize is Courtland Sutton. What's the second most important thing outside of the quarterback? Getting to the quarterback. So you got to go prioritize Nik Bonitto. And I know John Franklin Myers can also get after the quarterback, but if we were ranking in terms of the priorities for all 3 of these players, it's definitely in this order, in my opinion, that you would have to go. Now, all that to ask the question, what do you pay Bonitto? There's got to be a price tag, right? You can't just throw out this number or these allegations, Moose, and not have a number to pay Bonitto. Well, I came up with that as well. This is my projection. So this isn't something that, I got from ESPN. This is just what I'm viewing based off of the production that I saw and where players currently around his stature are getting paid. 3 years, $78 million, which is $26 million per year. This is probably low. But if you get this done earlier rather than later, I think he may accept this deal. Now, again, if you wait, you run the risk of having to pay him over $30 million a year. And the way that this, linebacker room, these edge rushers are currently slated, I realize Singleton and Greenlaw are not edge rushers, but Bonitto and Cooper definitely play like them. You're looking at a very, very solid pass rush where Bonitto doesn't necessarily have to be featured as the star edge rusher. The star pass rusher. He doesn't necessarily have to, although I think he will, because I think he is the best pass rusher on this team. But Cooper and Allen and Franklin Myers, all of these guys can get after the quarterback at a high rate. And to me, if you want to get ahead of this and you want to pay all your players what you think they're deserving of, you might have to get after that quicker rather than later. Before I take off today, make sure you follow me on my social media accounts. They're the same handle for each of them, and I put this in the comments and description of today's video. So on Twitter, Moose_NFL. I'm talking Broncos all the time, and same thing on Instagram. Just launched a new page there as well. Until next time, my name is Moose. Be cool.